We are Black Horse. We are Sports Out.
Well, let's win this thing already. Bottom of the ninth inning. Hayward, 22 RBIs with 2 outs. Green light.
I say cut it loose.
He did! Here comes Ankiel, and the Braves walk off again. Well, it's time to break out the brooms here at Turner Field in Atlanta. Nice crowd gathering on a business person special. Braves trying to sweep away the Washington Nationals and wrap up what has been an outstanding homestand here at Turner Field. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the right stuff, and the low price. Good afternoon, everybody. Chip and Joe back at it again here at Turner Field, where another walk-off win for the Braves and a chance for a 6-1 homestand.
Yeah, before we get ahead of ourselves and head to Chicago in anticipation of Derek Lee joining the ball club tomorrow, some more business at hand here at Turner Field, and the Braves have been taking care of business here at home. Their numbers outstanding. They've held opponents to 3 runs or less in each of the last 14 games here at Turner Field, and they've won 11 of those games. 16-1 in day games at Turner Field, and this will be the 10th start this year for a day game for Derek Lowe, so that bodes well for him. And on this homestand, a 1.33 ERA. The pitching staff has been outstanding. They haven't had to score a ton of runs, but when they have, it's been enough for this pitching staff that's been brilliant. And Derek Lowe is the man pitching for Atlanta today. He has pitched very well without a lot of run support. Maybe today will be the day for Derek Lowe to get an early lead, and he hopes to make it stand against the Washington Nationals. Glad you're with us. Braves go for the sweep. Lineups and first pitch from the Ted coming right up.
The starting lineups as Atlanta tries to conclude a 6-1 homestand and sweep away Washington. We get our first look at Nyjer Morgan. Boy, he's been tough for Derek Lowe to retire, and he is the second leading base stealer in the National League behind Michael Bourne of the Astros. So a good idea to keep Morgan off the base paths in front of Ian Desmond, who's hit the Braves exceptionally well this season.
Derek Lowe makes his 26th start of the year. He has not fared well against the National League East. He is just 1-7 in those 10 starts against the NL East. And this year against Washington, 0-2 included in that. He got beat 7-2, gave up 4 runs in the first start against them, got beat 5-3 recently, gave up 4 runs in that one. His 4 keys to pitching success today: get ahead in the count, because his sinker ball, like Tim Hudson's, is very effective when he forces the hitters to stretch their zone a little bit. Sunday, he loves pitching in sun games, day games. Well, he may not love it, but he's been very successful in day games, 6-2 on the year.
Nyjer Morgan, back after a hip problem, is quickly greeted with 2 strikes to start the game. Morgan played in a couple of minor league rehab ball games for the Nationals. A hip problem was what caused him some discomfort.
And that's a problem if you're a guy who steals a lot of bases, and he's second in the league in that category.
And he'll line out to start the ball game. Here's a look at the Braves defensively today. Let's start in the pasture, where from left to right it's Diaz, Cabrera, and last night's hitting hero Jason Hayward. Eric Hinsky over at first, Martin Prado, Alex Gonzalez, and Omar Infante along the infield, and the battery of McCann and Lowe. Here's Desmond. If there is a Nationals hitter besides Nyjer Morgan that has enjoyed seeing Lowe, it's this kid. He's 4 for 6 with 2 home runs.
Yeah, the other hits were double and a triple.
Nothing but strikes so far from Derek Lowe.
Working fast, too.
And he's 7 for 7 and has his first strikeout today.
He's been pitching in some tough luck lately, because unlike the beginning of the year when he got a ton of runs to work with, lately he has not. His last start against the Dodgers, he got beat 2-1. And he really did a great job of working out of the stretch, because he gave up 10 hits in 6 innings and only 1 run.
Strike 1 to Roger Bernardino. And that's the first pitch, not a strike for Lowe in the first inning.
His last 3 starts, he's only 1-1, despite the fact that he's only allowed 4 runs in 17 1/3 innings. He's getting after it today.
I like it when Lowe works this quickly.
The last 3 starts and the numbers on it, but not many runs to work with.
Just foul past Eric Hinsky. And Bernardino back to the box with a 1-2 count.
You saw the Braves defense in the setup. Braves have 3 left-handed bats in the lineup today against Lannon, who's a lefty. Hinsky back out there at first base because Gloss is on the disabled list. But the Braves will get another first baseman tomorrow.
Yeah, what's his name again?
Lee.
Yes, Derek Lee back in Chicago, waiting for the Braves to arrive. Will depart right after the game and start a series with the battling Cubbies tomorrow afternoon.
That was close.
Little chopper. Hinske and Lowe. And Derek has a very efficient and fast first inning of play. Through 14 pitches, 11 strikes. And the Braves come up here. On this Business Fan Special, Nationals retired in order in the top of the first. Here's how Bobby lines them up for the finale. Omar Infante, Jason Hayward, and Martin Prado, the first three hitters. Boy, it's as if Martin didn't miss a minute with that pinky injury. Eric Hinske hitting eighth with the left-hander on the mound in front of pitcher Derek Lowe.
And speaking of pitchers, John Lannon's on the mound for the Nats. He's 25 years old, 6'4", 215 out of Long Island, New York. 4 starts here at Turner Field. A couple of years ago, he was 2-0 here with a very low ERA. Last year, he went 0-2 with a 7 ERA. So we'll find out how he fares today. He is just back. He's making his 4th start since he was demoted to Double-A to go down and work on some things, and we'll tell you about that as we go along. And part of that is 4 keys to success. What he had to do when he went back to Double-A was find his sinker again. He had lost it, and he wasn't pitching well. And Crouching Tiger. I know that's scary. But as you watch him begin to throw his pitch, you'll notice his shoulders kind of rotated forward, bent over a little bit at the waist. One of the things they wanted him to incorporate in this new windup was kind of a crouching look. It's made him angry. Well, maybe not angry.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's put a snarl on his face.
Yeah, hey, he's made the opposition snarl since he's changed this delivery. And a fly ball into right center field. Willie Harris off his glove. And that'll be a leadoff single for Infante.
Boy, Willie laid out for that one, almost came up with it. Last night he tried to run through the left field wall to catch a ball and didn't quite get there. Fully extended and off the fingers of his glove.
So Omar Infante on base for the 20th time in his last 21 games. Sets up the first for Jason Hayward.
Another part of this crouch that he's in his stretch and windup was to try to make him a little more deceptive to left-handed hitters too. They're hitting .350 against him on the year.
It's a short. Late to the bag is Kennedy. He drops the ball on the transfer, but that'll be a force play. And Jason aboard with one man down.
Well, last night we talked about how they play their second baseman way over in the hole against left-handed hitters to make sure they can't pull the ball through there with a runner being held. Well, on the flip side of that is on a ground ball to short and a double play ball, you're nowhere near the bag, and Kennedy just had too far to go to have any chance at a double play. A little more conventional setup with a right-handed hitter.
And that right-handed hitter is the second leading hitter in the National League. Martin Prado now up to .321. And despite missing a couple of weeks, is also the league leader in hits again.
Well, if you're getting 5 every 2 days, you're going to catch up to a lot of people.
143 of them. And 46 games with 2 hits or more, including 2 straight since coming back.
What's great about Martin's year is just like that last pitch, he loves to go to right field and right center. You know that. But they throw him one that's just a little bit too far outside. He doesn't even offer it that pitch. Very patient. Waits for a strike.
But still in the driver's seat, as he did get that first strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to count.
Landon also features a curveball and a changeup. But what he had to go back to Double-A and work on with Dave Tomlin, a pitching coach in their system that he had worked with earlier in his career, and help him rediscover the sinker, was just help on his delivery.
Full count now, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And Ryan Zimmerman back in there today for the Nats, and always nice after you get thrown out of the game the night before that you got to stand all day down there with the guy that threw you out.
Yeah, Scott Berry.
Try to act like he's not there.
Let's see. Pudge got thrown out in game 1. Zimmerman got out of the game early last night. Who will be today's Washington victim? Runner goes, and into the seats, foul. Day off for Pudge today. And another 3-2.
That one hurt. Martin shaking his hand a little bit. Right off the end of the bat, trying to guard the outside part. And that 2-handed follow through may have pinched his pinky finger a little bit too. And that's going to happen from now until the last game of the season, whenever that is.
Jason was leaning.
Yeah, good recovery there. Going on the 3-2 pitch, but he didn't have too big a lead. And that's what allowed him to make the recovery.
Line drive on a sinking shot to short. And with the runner going, that'll be an inning ending double play. Lannon and Lowe through a scoreless inning. Control that fiery temper, Joe.
Yeah, I got him in some trouble last night, but I didn't think he deserved to be thrown out of the game. He did think that was ball 4, and then struck out. Foul tip, got mad, bat gone, helmet gone. Thrown out of the game for throwing his equipment. Never said a word to Scott Berry, and then ultimately Jim Riggleman got thrown out for defending his player too. But we've got the video, and Ryan Zimmerman didn't say one word until he had already been thumbed.
And that's exactly what he said. If you can read the lips, I didn't say anything to you.
I wonder how the league handles stuff like that when the umpires file their reports.
Can you appeal a fine if an umpire puts you in the book for throwing the helmet to bat?
Oh, no, I don't think you can appeal that. But that was not what he should have been fined for that.
Right.
For throwing his equipment. That would have been a no-brainer. Just write him up for that and be done with it.
Deep short. Tricky hop. Good stretch. 1 out.
Talked all season long about how good Tim Hudson is at inducing ground balls and getting a lot of double plays. He's first in the league, Tim Hudson is, in percentage of ground ball outs. Well, number 2 is Derek Lowe. Almost 3 out of every 4. So that's pretty snazzy too. And I think when he got away from, or when he went back more to his sinker instead of so many sliders early in the year, Chipper made a big difference for him.
And we heard Chipper last night when we had our chat with him about how much better your infield defense plays when the ball's being put in play. That's borne out in the numbers. Lowe's given up 72 runs this year, but only 2 unearned runs.
3 unearned runs between them, between he and Hudson.
Mike Morse has had a good series, playing first base today. Adam Dunn gets the afternoon off. Adam has been silenced in this series. But I don't know about the appeals process or how that's handled by the league. You remember the Johnny Venter's 4-game suspension was completely and totally wiped away. But Bobby Cox was suspended and had to serve that suspension before Venters had his appeal.
Yeah, he's not going to get suspended over this. It's just an ejection.
Right.
But I would certainly want my voice heard to the league if I were Ryan Zimmerman, that I got ejected for throwing my equipment, not for saying anything.
And it wasn't thrown at the umpire or an opposing player. It was thrown in the direction of his dugout.
Basically, he was thrown out because the umpire was mad at him for walking down the line on ball on what was called strike 2.
Morse drives that ball to left field, and it's deep, and it's gone. And that is a very big blow. The first home run allowed by the Braves in 84 1/3 innings gives the Nationals a 1-0 lead.
Like a hanging slider, too. Big, strong guy. Morse's 9th home run is our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. He wanted a front door slider and left it right over the middle of the plate. And pretty deep, too. That was halfway up the seats.
So Morse hits his 9th, and Washington jumps in front for second baseman Adam Kennedy. And a hot shot handled at third. Prado a good pick and throw, 2 outs. Pretty amazing run the Braves staff has been on until Morse spoiled the party here in the second.
You have to go all the way back to the Giants series before the Braves went to Houston for the last homer.
I swing it.
I think that was Travis Ishikawa.
Go, Wilson.
Well, here's a big piece of the Nationals' future coming up, and that's Wilson Ramos. He's their catcher. And you see his work with the Twins, and you might ask, well, why did the Twins trade a good young catcher? Got a guy by the name of Joe Mauer blocking him.
Ramos, I'm sure, thrilled to get an opportunity to get out from under Joe Mauer and play somewhere else. And he played well at Syracuse in the Nationals AAA ball club. Hit .317, 15 games.
Nationals traded their closer, Matt Capps, to the Twins for Ramos.
There's no way to make that play.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
First at bat, though, for the Nationals, and he wants to make a good impression here in his first game. Saw Niger Morgan lead off the ball game for them. Just off the disabled list, they placed Josh Willingham on the DL.
Willingham has some torn meniscus in his knee. And now Lowe, a 3-2 count to Wilson Ramos, who just turned 23 years of age. He was the second highest rated prospect by Baseball America in the Twins organization at the start of this season. Helped Venezuela win the Caribbean Series championship last year. A .290 minor league hitter with 32 home runs in 343 games coming in.
Does it say where in Venezuela he's from?
I think Valencia.
Okay. Just wondering if it was another Maracay product.
I think Maracay's over its quota. What did Eddie Perez say? The Braves were getting calls from the league?
Yeah, you're getting too good. You have too many Venezuelans on the team.
And Ramos is called out on strikes. The second punch out for Derek Lowe in the game. But a slider pitch to Mike Morse left the ballpark and ended a long Braves run. 1-0 Nationals as we go to the bottom of the second inning.
Win in the Windy City.
And the Braves walk off again.
Braves, Cubs, tomorrow at 2, only on Sports South.
1-0 Washington as the middle of the Braves order comes up. in the last half of our second inning. And as we finish up this homestand, off we go to the Windy City. Here's a look at our Airtran pitching matchups against the Cubs.
Jair Jurgens tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock Eastern time against Ryan Dempster. Hansen and Gorzolani on the Big Fox broadcast Saturday. We'll be back with you Sunday for the finale, a 1:30 Eastern time start. Mike Minor gets his 3rd start.
Cubs are having trouble. They've lost 17 of their last 21 overall, and they've lost 9 of 10 at Wrigley Field. And they host the Padres in about 45 minutes, with Latos and Zambrano squaring off. Matt Diaz, a 2-1 count. Last 14 games, Matt's knocked in 14 men and is hitting .332.
You know what's good about that? Timing. He's getting hot at the right time. He's going to see a lot of action between now and the end of the season. His swing's really getting good, and he's beginning to pick on those left-handers like we've seen him do in the past.
In the air to right. Harris drifting back. And Willie's got it for the first out. Well, if there is a sunny side to guys being injured, I think it would be exactly that. Prado got 2 weeks to rest his legs. Jurgens, all the time he missed. Diaz, the same thing. You're going to have some pretty fresh guys, or fresher guys, in the final 6 weeks, I would think.
That'll be a nice thing.
Here's McCann. Brian, 6 for 19 against Lannon in his career.
Another guy who's going to benefit from some time off and get healthy is Troy Gloss. Talked to him today for a little bit in the clubhouse, and how I thought this was going to be a good thing for him. And he had a great quote about the acquisition of Derek Lee. He's a fantastic first baseman. And he said, I obviously don't harbor any ill will. This makes our team better. Hopefully I can come back in 15 days and make us even better. And he had a real glint in his eye and smile on his face about, after a few days of resting his knees and doing some work at third base. He's looking forward to that. And if he can come back and his knees are healthy and he's ready to go, it'll be another asset on the bench and a guy who can play a couple of different positions.
Lannon has his first strikeout, and Alex Gonzalez hits with the bases empty. Well, to sum up that quote, Troy Gloss is a pro. That's exactly how you'd hope a professional player would respond. He'll take a week off and head to Gwinnett and hopefully be ready to go right around September 1st. Mentioned last night you were hoping to see Alex get off the schneid against Washington. I don't know what a schneid is, but he was 0 for 14.
I don't know what it is either, but it must be real slick.
Yeah, because no traction, no footing whatsoever.
No. I know when I've been on one, I can't get off of it very easily. But his numbers against Livan Hernandez weren't very good until last night. He got a couple of big hits last night, including that pop-up that dropped out in right field and drove in a run.
Alex leads all shortstops in Major League Baseball in homers, RBIs, and doubles. And is in the driver's seat here. Yeah, he almost smoked Lannon with a rocket back through the box. Yeah, once you get off the schneid, you get red hot.
Yeah, you do. And that crouching tiger thing, it really pays off if you stay crouched when they're hitting rockets right back at you, too. Stay down. Don't raise up. There you go.
Here's Melky Cabrera. He, too, another guy that subscribes to the timing is everything theory. Getting over 300 since the All-Star break.
Yeah, and every day I look at his average, and when I write it in my scorebook and it's still 269, I have a hard time believing it seems like it's been 269 almost all year long despite his good work. Doesn't fluctuate a whole lot. I mean, even if it said 275, I'd say, okay, yeah, he's gotten his average up there.
That's hit to third. They go the short way to second, and a nice stretch by Kennedy retires the side. Third inning. Washington still leads by a run. TNT by Blimpie and by Geico. Glad you're with us at Turner Field this afternoon. Derek Lowe has surrendered a home run to Mike Morse. And he'll face Harris, Lannon, and Niger Morgan in the Nationals' third. Been a tough year for Willie Harris. When you look at his batting average, only 178. And a bunt attempt. Nice play by McCann, one out. And John Lannon, the Nationals pitcher, hits next. Platinum recording artist and country music sensation Montgomery Gentry performs a free post-game concert at Turner Field. That's presented by Delta Airlines and Coca-Cola. After the Braves and Cardinals on Saturday, September the 11th. For tickets and on-field passes, visit Braves.com/Montgomery Gentry or call 800-745-3000.
I really like those guys. Tremendous.
We've had some great shows at the ballpark.
I mean to tell you, REO Speedwagon later this year, too, in late September.
We've got Cutlass coming up. We've had Sarah Evans, Montgomery Gentry now. Had the Beach Boys earlier.
Yep.
So another great reason to come to the ballpark. Lannon, not much of a hitter. 2 for 32 at the plate with 17 strikeouts this season. And then another one for Derek Lowe. That gives him 3 so far today.
See, Derek's a veteran and he's smart. He knows this guy can't hit. And he didn't mess around. Just here's 3 pitches. If you put any of them in play, I'm happy, but I'm not going to mess around for more than 3 pitches.
And on a hot day, not a bad idea. Here's Morgan. He lined to short. One ball, 2 strikes.
Nationals head up to Philadelphia. Maybe they can do the Braves some good up there against the Phils. Steven Strasburg pitches against the Fighting Phils on Saturday, I believe.
Oh, speaking about getting down, that one sizzled right back past Derek Lowe. Woo. That was a hot shot.
Yes, it was. Yikes. That went right up over the top of his shirt. Man, it just missed the back of his head.
There was a fan in the seats who described it better than we ever could. Woo. Something about changing the uniform after the inning, because that one went right back up the middle. Now you have to keep an eye on Morgan. He can fly. Know about the troubles Derek has had with Desmond. Becomes even more dangerous with the attention you have to pay to Niger at first base. Four career hits, all of them for extra bases by Ian Desmond against Derek Lowe. Popped up. Long run. Hinsky, Infante, and Eric can't get it. It's off the end of his glove.
A really tough play under any circumstances when you got to turn your back to the infield and run down the line. But remember, he's holding the runner on. So he had what amounts to a flat-footed start and a really long way to go down there near the end of the tarp to try to get that one, and he almost got it.
So another strike for Desmond.
And Niger Morgan started to go on that pitch and took like 2 crow hops off like he was going and then stopped. He had it stolen easily if he kept going. Of course, the foul ball would have brought him back anyway.
Going now, pitch out. And he still was able to beat the play. 30th steal for Niger Morgan.
He had an extra step on Derek before he ever threw the ball. He broke early, and that's what allowed him to beat the pitch out. That's what he brings to their ball club. That's what they've missed at the top of their order. And he is a real pain in the neck.
And so is Ian Desmond. Morgan around third will score to make it a 2-0 game. That's his first single against Lowe, but it's just as destructive as everything else he's done against him.
Thanks to the stolen base, it is.
Baby.
That one had the middle of the plate, and he hit it right back where it came from. 50th RBI for Desmond. Batting in the second spot in the order. That's pretty good.
I know you like what Washington's doing. You've talked about it a couple of times in this series. And if Ramos turns out to be as good as Baseball America thinks he'll be, Desmond, Zimmerman, if they bring back Adam Dunn.
Yeah, do I think they're going to win the division next year? No. But I think they're going to be a whole lot more competitive than they have been the last 2 years. And they're already ahead of last year's pace in terms of wins and losses by about 7 or 8 games.
Close play at first.
Yeah, that time Derek made him stop. He didn't make Morgan stop a walking lead.
Last season, the Nationals were 59-103. They're going for their 52nd win with 6 weeks of baseball left. Nyjer Morgan with his speed, and Ian Desmond with his ability to hit Derek Lowe adds another run for the Nationals. We head to the bottom of the third inning. It's a 2-0 score. Now as we head to the bottom of the third inning. And don't forget, friends, football season's right around the corner, and so is SEC Gridiron Live. It's on our air live every Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. 22 million homes have a chance to watch that great program in SEC territory. And the smiling face and the host of SEC Gridiron Live is with us. Charles Davis, welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. What a gorgeous day for baseball.
It truly is. We're glad to have you, though. September 1st, you guys get it cranked up?
Yes, looking forward to it. Our second year of SEC Gridiron Live, originating from Fox Sports South, and should be a whole lot of fun. We can't wait. Everybody loves SEC football. I mean, it's hard to beat. Last 4 national champions have come out of the conference, and I'm fortunate enough to be working with some great people, including a couple new ones. Randy Cross, who was with us last year, just inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Great player from UCLA, and of course in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers, one of the all-time greats. So he's with us for the second year as an analyst. And 2 new faces, Christina Acra, comes to us from the New England Patriots, and she's going to be our social media host. She's got to handle all the interactive stuff.
That's pulled foul by Eric Hinsky.
Have her call me if she needs any help with that.
I will tell her, Joe,
really
that you're the guy with the tweeting and the Facebook and the email, which now seems almost outdated with everything else that's going on. But she handles all that, and she'll interact with all the fans of the SEC and all the member schools and institutions. And Tim Couch, the University of Kentucky All-American. And
Kennedy, a great diving stop.
See, he's not supposed to do that when I'm sitting here. There's supposed to be runs scored when I show up.
Oh, you've got 2 outs,
something like that.
Yeah.
We got some time. But Tim's with us, and that's just terrific. We got a quarterback's perspective, guy who's played at the highest level, obviously, the first pick in the NFL draft, and save for a shoulder injury, probably still be out there flinging it in the NFL right now.
Now, tell me about the interactive part of your show. I mean, that's the most interesting part, other than the content itself, that folks at home can send in their own videos and be a part of the production of the show?
They can do everything, and a lot of people do. You make your own video, you send it in, and you support your school, you crack on your rival. You know, if you're an Alabama fan, you're going to do something that gets at Auburn, of course, and you know, if you're a Tennessee fan, you're probably going to do something that gets at Alabama or Florida or someone like that, and vice versa. And those things, Christina gets all of them. They get reviewed, and if it's appropriate, it can get on the air. And so you can be part of the show without actually being at the show. And in any emails or tweets, she'll handle all of those also, and those will probably be read on air.
Well, that leaves me out. I had some already in mind. I was going to shoot some in there from Big 12 stuff, from Oklahoma, and that's probably not going to be in the appropriate column.
Well, for a while there, we were thinking that for a while
That's
there
right.
was a thought that Oklahoma might actually be coming to SEC territory.
Well, I was pulling for that instead of them going west. Certainly, I would rather have seen them go to the SEC than the Pac-10. But
I think if it had happened, Joe, I think it was going to be. It looked like Texas A&M and Oklahoma would have been the two that would have come in to the SEC, and that would have been a bonanza for the SEC, and I think Oklahoma would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now, I understand this is the first time you've been here.
It's hard to believe. First time I've ever been here. I actually had an opportunity years ago, and unfortunately my wife got ill while I was here in Atlanta on business, and that afternoon I was supposed to come over, have a meeting with Mr. Schurholtz, and go to a ball game, but she got ill, so I had to hop on a plane and get home. So and this is my first time since then. And
well,
boy,
welcome.
what a beautiful place. Just absolutely gorgeous. Great day for baseball, and I know we're planning for football, and I think the football players would take this day on an opening day to be out playing because it's not overly oppressive, but it's warm enough when you throw those pads on.
Yeah, 2-a-days too, right?
I'm glad those are over for me.
I was going to say, now you're a Pirates fan growing up.
Yeah, hard to believe. I grew up in what I call mid-state New York, 2 hours north of New York City, and I became a huge Pittsburgh Pirates fan for some reason. Not a Yankees fan, not a Mets fan, and just loved the Buccos, and Dave Parker was my guy, the Cobra.
You bet. A lot of guys liked him. We'll talk some more about that.
All right.
Stick around.
Okay, happy to do so. Thanks for having me.
And again, SEC Gridiron Live every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Here on Fox Sports South. Charles Davis, Randy Cross, Tim Couch, and Christina Ackler will be your hosts and stars. And we'll continue with Charles right after this. brought to you in part by the Georgia Lottery and by the Home Depot. It's 2-0 Washington as we continue on in the fourth inning with Joe Simpson and Charles Davis. Chip Carey with you. Is that a Rocky Top Tennessee?
That is definitely the power T from Knoxville. Right now, things are a little bit shaky in terms of expectations for the team this year. I mean, normally when you look at the SEC East in preseason, you're going to see some form of Florida, Georgia, Tennessee.
Wait.
You are in the SEC East.
You got that out of order. Georgia. Then everybody else. We don't really care about anybody else, Charles. Listen to this side of the booth.
As I said, Chip, some form of those three. And this year, Tennessee is picked 5th in the SEC East. And it's not a misprint. And frankly, if you look at it being logical, it makes sense. Kentucky, 4 straight bowls, first time in school history. Joker Phillips taking over there. Gives them an opportunity to continue to get better. Rich Brooks did a fantastic job.
Sure did.
Elevating that program, and that's a good fan base. And our guy now with us at SEC Gridiron Live, Tim Couch, loving that.
Oh, I'll bet.
The Kentucky quarterback, he's loving that. And he's saying this is going to be a year, Charles, that Tennessee loses to Kentucky for the first time. And we've lost track of the number of years, frankly, because I hate to say this, Joe, but I played on the last Tennessee team to lose to Kentucky in 1984.
Wow.
And they play every year.
Plaque there, you know.
Yeah, they say Charles Davis was the reason we won this game. And in Tennessee, he's the reason he lost this game. But
hey, you got another,
a lot of fun.
You got another Dooley back in the SEC, though. And
that's a good one. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, too. Nice pitch right there. Boy.
Let me ask you about the Gators. I mean, that's a team that has been so dominant with Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow. Tim's now playing in the NFL with the Denver Broncos. What are your expectations for the Florida Gators this year?
I think they'll be as nearly as impressive, if not the same, as they have been. I think it's still on the Eastern Division side. It's still Florida and Chase until proven different. John Brantley comes in at quarterback. They may tweak a few of the things they do, but he can run better than I think people know. But I think they'll play to his strengths, and that's throwing the football. Defensively, they'll still be strong and stout. And believe it or not, how often do you get a ball club that wins, 13 games last year? Loses 1, right? The SEC championship game to Alabama, and believes they have a chip on their shoulder.
Upset.
They believe that something's wrong. You go 13-1, and things aren't right, and that's what Urban Meyer's counting on. And I think that Florida will have that.
How about Alabama? Well, still loaded, I guess, huh?
Still loaded, and it's a measure of the respect that everyone nationally has for Nick Saban and the program, because they lost 10 starters on defense. And they're still preseason number 1 in the country, because a lot of those players who are coming back are guys who got playing time anyway. Marcel Darius, the defensive tackle who knocked Colt McCoy out of the championship game, he wasn't a starter. Well, guess what? He's going to be a starter now, and they expect him to be a stalwart. And the one starter that's returned for Alabama, Mark Barron, the safety, he's preseason All-SEC. So they always have plenty of talent.
Amazing. Well, Charles, great to see you. We wish you all the best in the world this fall with the SEC Live, SEC Gridiron Live show. Great job, and it's always great talking SEC football.
Wednesdays, 10 o'clock, beginning September 1st.
Beginning September 1st. Check us out. Tim Couch, Christina Acra, Randy Cross, and myself.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Joe will be twittering away, I promise.
Tweet.
Charles Davis is excited about college football. It is so refreshing to see, isn't it?
You know what's cool about it is you can ask him about any team. You could ask him about the punter for Vanderbilt. They could tell you exactly where he's from, how big he is, what he averaged in punts, and what his average hang time was.
Well, that's where you break out your Vince Dooley. That punter on that Vanderbilt team might be the finest punter we've ever seen this year. But Charles does a great job, and we're looking forward to seeing him and the gang on SEC Gridiron Live. And we've got a great schedule of SEC football on Fox Sports South this year, starting September 4th. As Jason Hayward leads off. Arkansas State at Auburn. Louisiana Monroe at Arkansas a week later. Then September 18th, Akron and Kentucky.
The Zips.
There'll be 5 more games after that. Bob Rathman, Tim Couch, Jen Hildreth will have the play-by-play analysis and sidelines covered. So hope you'll join us this fall on Sports South for SEC football.
So far, John Lannon has had his sinker working. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight ground ball outs since the single by Gonzalez in the second inning.
And you mentioned it earlier. Funny what a trip to the minor leagues will do for you.
And working with somebody that he had some confidence in, that he could relate to, that had helped him in the past. That probably helped a lot too. Dave Tomlin.
So if Lannon can turn the corner, you've got Strasburg. You heard Chipper last night say that Jordan Zimmerman, who's another terrific pitcher, Zimmerman, that gives him 3 in rotation next year potentially. And you have those position players we've talked about. To your point, no, they're not going to win the East. They're going to be a lot tougher to beat, and they've been tough for the Braves to beat already. Three balls and a strike. Prado lined into a double play in the first inning. Jason Hayward was running with the pitch, and that retired the side.
No, they're on the right track, and we need a solid franchise in Washington, the nation's capital. Come on.
Another hit for the hits leader. And that'll bring the potential tying run to the plate.
That looked like one that Lannon made a mistake on, elevated it a little bit. And again, at this level, when you make mistakes, they make you pay. It was above the knees, not quite belt high. Trying to turn it over. Might have been a changeup, and Martine's all over it.
Jerry Davis signals strike 1 to Matt Diaz. Deep short. Desmond fires quickly for 1. Kennedy's turn, not in time. Oh, man, did that kid cover some ground.
And watch how he fields this ball, too. He is so quick. And we've talked about it earlier in this series about how many errors he's made, but he's only going to get better. But watch, he fields this ball with his glove turned out. He didn't try to backhand it. He had it turned face out, where he was able to move that quickly and get in front of it. And by doing so, allowed him to get rid of it quicker to get it to Kennedy.
That did not look like a play from a shortstop who's made 27 errors this year.
No.
Desmond out of Sarasota, Florida. Having a terrific first full season in the big leagues. 1 ball, no strikes to Brian McCann.
Nice to go through the Braves clubhouse. Day like today, quick turnaround, and see so many smiles on guys' faces. Happy about the way they're playing, including Brian McCann, and the results the team's been getting, especially here at home.
I thought it was just because they were happy to see you.
Not really. You know, you ask those pointed, hard-charging questions. They hate to see you coming.
Yeah, it's Mike Wallace walks into the room. It's uh-oh. Wow. Egads, 3 balls and a strike.
You know, at first, just it flashed through my mind that he just wanted a new baseball. He was just throwing it in to get a new baseball.
How did he catch that?
Blindly.
And how did Brian avoid it?
Three-one changeup, and he was out front.
That has been really the pattern for the Nationals in this series, hasn't it?
It has. A lot of off-speed pitches when pitchers have been behind in the count. Kept the hitters off balance, and they've made good enough pitches with them to avoid a lot of walks and get swings from them.
We'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Brian, in the course of his young career, has been a very good hitter against left-handed pitching. That has not been the case for him this year. He's at .240 against lefties. And they got him with something soft inside to retire the side in the 4th. Imagine Lannon. He's up 2-0 as we head to the 5th inning. Hubers trivia question. Chipper nailed it last night, so the pressure's on for us today. Only one pitcher's recorded more wins in the National League than Derek Lowe since 2005. Who is it?
Paul Ossenmacher.
Here's Ramos.
Not that I really believe that, but I know Paul would be thrilled that I just threw his name out there on the air.
And we're going to Chicago, where Ossenmacher played as well. Since 2005. Okay. Roy Oswalt comes to mind immediately. Astros have had some good teams. And you've got Chris Carpenter with the Cardinals, but he had Tommy John surgery. Missed some time.
I wonder if it's a trick question. I wonder if it's Jake Peavy, who's no longer in the National League.
And you know Gretchen, she's very grouchy on getaway days, so she's not going to give us any hints. Three balls and a strike. Derek started the game with 11 of his first 14 pitches for strikes. 41 of his 60 have found the strike zone so far. And now he runs the count full at 3-2. If we're going to break out old Braves names, we could fire Zane Smith out there too. We're going to use Paul Ossenmacher. Fire Zane at him.
No, I'm a little stymied after Roy Oswalt. Peavy. Andy Pettit won a few games for Houston before he went back to the American League.
It'll be Roger Clemens, who was with Houston too. Carlos Zambrano. Cubbies.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So is this at bat by Ramos. He's making Lowe work. This kid was a good hitter in the minor leagues.
I like his setup. A little bit of an open stance. Very strong, very solid, as you can see. Kind of sits back on that back leg a little bit.
And the ninth pitch of the at-bat is served into center. So 1 out for Willie Harris. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. Willie tried to bunt his first time, and Brian McCann threw him out.
That was one of those. That was a good idea if it had just rolled 3 more feet, but it hit in the wet dirt right in front of home plate early in the game and just stuck there. And you know how good Brian is at bouncing out to get those. Got Willie by a step. You mentioned it's been a tough year for Willie, and he's only hitting 177 as he stands there. And it seems like most of the time, at least even including the year he was with Atlanta, good start, tails off, can't finish, has a rough second half for whatever reason.
Broken bat. Sunday hop. And Lowe's retired 6 straight.
Put his first half with Adam LaRoche's second half. He really got something.
Yeah.
Adam hit another home run last night. I think he's up over 20, got 21 maybe.
It's after the All-Star break, as you said. Trade announced today, by the way, in the National League. Cardinals trying to bolster their run as St. Louis has fallen 3 games behind the Reds now in the Central. They acquired Pedro Feliz from the Astros to shore up third base.
That's great for Feliz. He was just buried over there behind their kid, Johnson, Chris Johnson, that looked so good in the series against Atlanta. But a good pickup for St. Louis, and that Feliz has been through the playoff wars and pennant races before with Philadelphia.
And he'll catch it first when he's right. I mean, he's a very good defensive third baseman. And you figure the Cardinals might have enough offense. But they've got some work to do. Cincinnati has won 7 of their last 10 to open up some room over the Cardinals. Lannon is an easy out. 7 up, 7 down for Derek Lowe, who looks for some support. Braves trail 2-0. To nothing score. As we've told you all day, SEC football's right around the corner. And Sports South has an exclusive one-on-one with the old ball coach himself. In my own words, Steve Spurrier premieres tomorrow right after the Braves and Cubs from Wrigley Field, only on Sports South. The innings went so fast, didn't get a chance to ask Charles about the Gamecocks and what Steve is trying to do just to our east. You know, Steve loves to talk about who his quarterback is.
There'll be something about them old kids. Practicing hard, playing hard.
So, yep, this is one of the best times of the year. Spring training time of the season, and August, September, when pennant races heat up. You get through the dog days, you get a look at some of the September call-ups. We've got football starting, basketball right around the corner too. So hopefully you'll be with us the rest of the way in this 2010 campaign.
Did you play football at all?
Just a couple years in junior high school. Pulling guard, and not very good.
Pulling guard.
Oh yeah. Ran the wing tee, baby. Great foot speed. That's why I wasn't on the team very long. 2 balls and a strike. Goal number 66 for the Parkway South Colts.
Yeah, I can see that. Rumbling, stumbling.
Oh, yeah. Stumbling I was really good at. I was all junior varsity in that category. Three hits in the last couple games for Alex against the Nationals. And his bid for a fourth will drop in cleanly. Better hustle, and he does. It's a leadoff double. That had been Bernardina out there in center. You might not think about two. He's got a good arm. Morgan, not so fortunate.
But you know what? Nigel Morgan gets to more than Bernardina does. He cut this ball off and kept it from getting to the wall. And while his arm's not as strong, that's another thing he provides to their team defensively. And as for Alex, a good start to the 5th inning for Atlanta. Another hard hit ball off of Lannon. He's had 2 hits today for Atlanta out of their 4.
And now Melky will try to get him over or in as the infield pinches at the corners for the Nationals.
The way the Braves have been pitching, and as great as they have been, you get a chance to get one run here and then get another chance in next inning or so to get another run. You like the odds that the Nationals are not going to get any more.
Yeah.
I mean, the Braves have been that good, and they've had that many good outings that are just shut-down outings from their starters.
Well, I think you make a good point. When a team comes back and wins, everybody focuses on what the offense does in that game. To your point about the starting pitching, we've talked about that a lot. But how about the work the bullpen has done?
Yeah.
You give your manager 2 or 3 shutdown innings, huge difference. And it's a bullpen that figures to be bolstered when we get to Chicago. Looks like Eric O'Flaherty's ready to come back.
Yeah, that'll be a nice return for him. He pitched well in his rehab assignments. Lannon made a very almost impossible pitch there to try to hit to the right side, and Melky fouled it to the left side. Cabrera's got to try and at least try to get the ball over there to the right side and get Alex to third.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Time for a money and energy saving bright idea from Georgia Power. Change your air filters in your heating and cooling system regularly. Go to georgiapower.com for more energy saving tips. Georgia Power is a Southern company. Adam flinching, and the count full. Another off-speed pitch in a hitter's count, and Melky is struck out.
That was not a good at bat. Lead-off double and then a changeup right down the middle that he was out in front of. But at least early in the count, didn't seem like he was trying to inside out anything to the right side. Could have been part of what Lannon was doing to him. Those breaking balls in, though, that had something to do with it.
Eric Hinske bats. And it's a called strike.
Lannon had arguably his best start of the year his last outing against Arizona. He won it 4-2 and went 7 innings, gave up only 4 hits and 2 runs.
Eric in disbelief is behind 0-2.
No. Scott Berry got carried away again.
Whatever you do, Eric, don't throw your bat or your helmet. And 2 strikeouts in a row after a leadoff double brings up pitcher Derek Lowe. Let's see if he can help himself.
Derek's beginning to wonder if it's just him. Maybe the offense has got something against him the way his run support has gone recently.
Yeah, he and Tommy Hanson kind of running through that. Tommy's gone a long time between wins.
Willie Harris is literally playing softball depth. He is over near the line in right field. And if Derek Lowe does happen to get a base hit that way, Alex Gonzalez is going to have to get a heck of a jump.
It's hit toward third. Braves waste a leadoff double from Alex Gonzalez, and we've played 5 innings now. It's still 2-0 Washington. Brought to you in part by AT Uverse, by McDonald's, and by Georgia Power. Nice crowd at the Chop House this afternoon, but an unhappy score at this point, 2-0, after 5 innings of play. Derek Lowe back to work, only given up 3 hits. And he is the subject of our AT Uverse trivia question. Since 2005, only one man has recorded more wins in the senior circuit than Derek Lowe. Do you know who the other man is?
It's not Roy Oswalt. It just can't be. It's got to be some other tricky guy that we just can't think of off the top of our head. So I'm going to go stupid here and say, I'm going to say Jake Peavy.
All right, I will go with Carlos Zambrano.
That's a good one.
Way to go. Gee. You're killing me.
Gretchen told me to do that.
Oh, okay. Gretchen, you're killing me. Here's Nigel Morgan. Roy Oswalt. He's now with the Fighting Phillies. Yes!
They, by the way, have won 20 of their last 25.
Yeah.
Playing good baseball. Their bullpen's settling a little bit. Brad Lidge is kind of finding his form again. They'll get Ryan Howard back soon. Got everybody back from the DL once he returns.
Look at that inside-out swing.
That's what he does to you.
And that snaps a run of 7 straight Nationals hitters retired, and Morgan, with his speed, might be in scoring position as he stands at first base.
Well, the knock on him, I mean, he's stealing a lot of bases, scoring some runs, but he doesn't have a high enough on-base percentage. His on-base percentage just .320 coming into the game today. And for a guy with his speed, you'd like to see him walk a little bit more. Only 29 walks.
Did you say he's a poor man's Juan Pierre?
Yeah, I would. He's a better outfielder, though, than Juan Pierre. He has a better arm.
Oh, that off the glove of McCann on a pitch out. And a wild pitch. And now Morgan is in scoring position.
See, I'm not so sure that's a wild pitch. It's a pitch out. And Brian McCann, when he jumped out there, when he saw the runner wasn't going, he kind of stopped. He kind of paused. He didn't keep going on out there to take the throw. And some of that's on him.
Now Desmond bunts. And a runner at third with one out. Braves might have to start thinking about breaking out the bunt with these leadoff doubles that they're not cashing in close games.
Yeah, work there for the Nats, certainly. Now Derek's going to have to get some ground ball action and hope it's hit at somebody.
And to give you an idea of how good Lannon's stuff has been, the Braves are going to play the infield in. Don't want to fall behind by 3. Would Jim Ruggeman break out a squeeze? Jim's a disciple of Whitey Herzog. He's on his coaching staff with the Cardinals. One ball, one strike. No need to squeeze. It's an extra base hit. 3-0 Washington as Bernardina on his way to second, and he'll slide in safely.
He has his 33rd RBI. Derek made a good pitch on the backdoor slider, but look what Bernardina did. I mean, he is all over the plate, just draped over it. And got a fastball that he could turn on.
So Ryan Zimmerman bats. He's 0 for 2. One streak by the boards already for the Braves today. That is 84 innings or thereabouts without allowing a home run. Braves also have a long run of allowing 3 runs or less at home on the line, perhaps in this inning.
Yeah, 14 straight.
Base hit to left. Around third comes Bernardina. The throw is cut off, and that streak also is over. Washington leads 4-0.
Bernardina made this look easy. I want you to watch how sharp he cuts this corner at third base. He looped out just a little bit, getting to the bag. But once he gets there, it's almost a straight line down the third base line. He hit the bag sharply, and with his speed, that was a short route from second to home. An easy score on a base hit to left for him.
Well, just think again of the possibilities for Washington. You've got Morgan. You've got Bernardina. Remember the #1 overall pick, Bryce Harper, as that caught in right field. As a catcher in college, they're going to make him a right fielder. And if he develops as quickly as they think, it's a pretty salty group of guys in the outfield, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be. And they'll continue to add people.
So July 21st, the last time the Braves given up 4 or more. And the Nationals not done yet. Adam Kennedy, the 6th man to hit in the inning. The top of the order coming up for Atlanta when Lowe gets out of this big mess.
It's Christian Martinez loosening up.
Phillies are home tonight. They'll host the Giants. They'll wrap up that series. Braves start play today, 2.5 games in front of them. Both the Braves and Phillies riding 4-game winning streaks.
Giants have fallen on some hard times, and they've all of a sudden they've gone 5 games back of the Padres. Padres have won 6 games back. Padres have won 4 in a row.
And as good as the Braves starting pitching has been, you can't say that about the Giants. I read this morning. As the runner goes, Giants don't have a win from a starting pitcher since August 3rd. That's 14 games. And that's why they've fallen off the pace in that Western Division. Washington scores a pair in the 6th. Top of the order, down 4.
Coors Light freeze cam and the cool train. And this play by Eric Hinsky back in the 3rd inning. He was running so far down the line and just had that one go off the edge of his glove after a long run. That was the Coors Light freeze cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Braves down by 4. Got to get some offense going. When they get them on, get them over and get them in this time.
Braves have left 3 on base. And the only man they've left in scoring position was Alex Gonzalez an inning ago. But let's see if the 3rd time through is better luck. Infante, Hayward, Prado coming up for the skipper, Bobby Cox.
And entering the part of the ball game that the Braves seem to be at their best from the 6th inning on.
Got to give Lannon his due. He's looked like a different guy, which is what Washington was hoping he'd be after they sent him down to work on some things in the minors.
He's throwing a lot of strikes. 81 pitches, 48 strikes. No walks today. You like it if the Braves would score some early runs. That hasn't been happening a whole lot. But from the 6th inning on, a plus 84 in run differential. That's the best in the major leagues. Best in the majors in hitting with runners in scoring position, and 2nd in runs scored from the 6th inning on. Which has helped pad that streak of last at bat wins. What's it up to? 20 or 21?
21. But much of that ability to come back has been predicated on the fact that starters, as we've said, have given up 3 or less. The Braves have played a ton of very close games. That starts at the start of this month of August. A bunch of 2-1, 3-2, 3-0 kind of games. This one, however, 4-0 with nobody on or out. Until now, perhaps. A multi-hit game for Infante and a good start. So with Jason coming up and keeping in line with our walk-off hits stat, here's our Academy Sports and Outdoor leaderboard.
Third time last night for Jason. And other individuals chipping in once each. I like that sign.
He hasn't seen eye to eye with the strike zone much in this series either.
Well, they have just pounded him in. And he hasn't been too fond of some of the calls that might have been a little bit too far inside, in his opinion. Last night, 3-0. Clippard threw an outer third of the plate where he could get his arms extended, and he just laced it. It was a changeup that he hit off his foot or leg.
Fisted into right center field. That's going to drop. And the Braves will have him first and third. Hayward hit a 2-strike pitch.
Bad pitch. Made him pay. Ramos wants this ball away. Looked like it was a breaking ball or a changeup. He set up outside. It was definitely a breaking ball that just stayed right there in the middle of the plate. And Jason fought it off trying to guard the plate and hit it in the perfect spot. Good start to the inning.
So Prado a chance to get the Braves on the board, and the fans start to chop a little bit here at Turner Field. First big bit of trouble for Lannon today.
Slayton and Peralta begin to loosen up behind Lannon.
And Jim Riggleman certainly knows his club far better than we do, but we saw with Scott Olson in the series opener how quickly the game dissolved when he had runners on base or in scoring position.
See Martine's number there with runners in scoring position. That's why I think he's at his best when he's hitting first or second, not expected to drive in a ton of runs. And why, just speculating, purely speculation on my part, you'll probably see Derek Lee hitting third. It'd be my guess.
What a nice problem to have. You can hit Lee third, you can hit Lee fourth, you can hit Lee fifth if you want. And Bobby was asked about that today. He said, I'm just thinking about today's lineup. I'll worry about tomorrow's tomorrow. Derek will wear number 27 and be ready to go for the Braves.
I know the last first baseman they picked up and put in number 27 worked out pretty good. Crime Dog.
Let's just hope the press box fares better in Derek's first game.
Yeah.
Because there's only one way out at Wrigley Field.
That's what I was just thinking.
Oh, that just missed. Full count. Lannon really wanted that pitch. So did the Nationals dugout.
Yeah, so did Steve McCaddy, his pitching coach. So did Fox Tracks. Like a cut fastball.
There's a strike. And Hayward steals second base. So Lannon didn't get the call on the first pitch. Hit the spot again. Got the call for a season-high tying 5th strikeout.
Not sure why Ramos didn't throw there unless Kennedy was late covering. The 2 in scoring position for Diaz.
These are 2 big runs sitting out there for the Braves.
Here's Jason breaking. Call. No, he was there. Ramos just decided to eat that one.
Down the right field line. That's going to score a couple. There's the first big hit of this game. It's 4-2.
Like another hanging breaking ball too, Chip. And the stolen base by Jason pays off. And then their lead down to 2. A curveball that stayed up, and Matt stayed with it. And again, he continues his good work against left-handers. And his good hitting here in the second half.
Like to see them taking this guy the other way, too. Now McCann an RBI chance. Oh, what a cut.
Well, he finally got a fastball. That might be the first fastball he's had all day. Everything else has been breaking stuff, change-ups, 2 sinkers down and in. See if Brian tries to go the other way with something off speed. See, if you're looking something middle of the way and they throw you that pitch down and in, you're not apt to swing at it. You know, Brian didn't even offer it that. Whereas if he's thinking pull or thinking middle in, and all of a sudden it's there, you've already convinced yourself to swing at it, and it's tough to lay off.
Lannon now with 101 pitches with 1 out in the 6th. Braves on the board have scored twice. Tying run at the plate. And Jim Riggleman pondering his bullpen possibilities. So is Bobby Cox and Roger McDowell.
Again, a pitch. There's been 2 pitches in this at bat that Brian was trying to get after earlier today and struck out. He's laid off, and now he's got a hitter's count 3-1. Let's see if the Nationals pitch the way they've been pitching in this series, off-speed stuff when they're behind in the count. Yep. Desmond playing virtually right behind the bag at second base, so the only guy on the left side of the diamond is Zimmerman. Like he got away, Lannon did with another bad off-speed pitch there. He had a good pitch, 3-1, and lucked out 3-2. Changeup that was up.
He walks McCann. Lead run to the plate now. And Lannon may be cooked after a little more than 100 pitches on a hot day, and indeed that's the case. Pretty impressive performance, though, for the left-hander. He worked 5 shutout innings, surrenders a pair in the 6th. And Alex Gonzalez with a 2-for-2 day will take aim at a Washington bullpen here in Atlanta. And by Verizon. Another day, another chance for a Braves comeback. They're halfway there in this 6th inning. 4-2 is our score. And our Braves broadcast on Sports South, presented in beautiful high def by our friends at H.H. Gregg. John Lannon was spectacular through 5. Wobbled a bit in the 6th and now gives way to Joel Peralta out of the Nationals bullpen.
He worked here a couple of days ago. Worked an inning, gave up 2 hits, doubles to Prado and Diaz, and gave up a run. But he did strike out Alex Gonzalez when he faced him.
Peralta had a great year going down at AAA. As the pitch popped up by Gonzalez with the runner going, Diaz had third base stolen and is going to be doubled up.
He had third standing up.
So the Braves hit into their second double play in this game, and they settle for a pair in the 6th inning. Halfway to third before the pitch, and Matty didn't realize the ball was popped up, and that ends the inning. for the 7th. Matt Diaz with a 2-run double, the good news, but a base running blunder runs the Braves out of a chance for a big inning.
But you know what? I don't know why Alex swung at this pitch. I mean, he had to see Matt get an enormous jump. He had third stolen standing up. And then it went on to Matt and not picking up his coach, not hearing Brian Snitker, letting him know that it was popped up. Slider out away from Alex. But oh my, did Diaz have it stolen? He'd have been at third with one out.
So the Braves settle for 2 and now face Wilson Ramos, Willie Harris, and then the pitcher's spot. The reason why Lowe's out there. Eric has not pitched 7 innings in a game since July 5th.
He's only had one bad stretch today. That was last inning. 3 out of the first 4 hitters that came up reached and hit the ball pretty solidly, with the exception of Morgan, who blooped in the single to start the inning. With the double by Bernardino, followed by the base hit by Zimmerman.
Second time Ramos has struck out today. Derek has 5 himself. 1 out for Willie Harris, and you can guarantee yourself Braves postseason tickets. Buy a 2010 prorated season ticket plan starting at just $6 a seat. Join us here at Turner Field for some great matchups here in late August and September. Order them online at Braves.com/season tickets or call 404-577-9100. Braves will have the Marlins, Mets, Cardinals, Nationals, and then, of course, the final 3 games of the home schedule against the Phillies in regular season play. So get those tickets. They're affordable. Braves have a ticket plan in just about every price range for you. And they drew exceptionally well against the Dodgers. Pickens a little slim the last couple of days with Washington in town in midweek.
Well, here's another thing about games that are coming up that you can be a part of by participating in that ticket plan. In September alone, teams that are going to be in Atlanta at Turner Field. 2 games at the beginning of the month with the Mets. You have a 4-game weekend series with the Cardinals, who are coming to town beginning September 9th. That's going to be huge. The Nationals come back again. Who's to say? Maybe Steven Strasburg pitches in one of those games, the 13th, 14th, or 15th. And then the last week of the season, you got Florida and Philadelphia with what everybody expects to be a lot riding on it.
And of course, the Bobby Cox tribute night. The final game of the regular season is October 3rd. We'll have that here on Sports South. So plenty of highlights, exciting teams, exciting races. As Kevin Mensch bats for Joel Peralta.
Now, Bobby's night is Saturday, October 2nd.
First pitch swinging. Mensch to short. In a hurry. And Kevin retired.
Boy, that was a strong inning.
If that was his last, it was with a flourish. Lowe has pitched 7, trails by 2.
Braves look for a win in the Windy City.
And the Braves walk off again.
Braves, Cubs, tomorrow at 2, only on Sports South.
We got him right where we want him. Here's where the Braves have been so good all year. All those comeback wins, all those runs from the 7th inning on. But they've got a tough hombre to try to beat now. And Tyler Clippard, he's on in relief of Peralta. And the lower portion of the order is up. Melky Cabrera, Eric Hinsky, and then a pinch hitter, we presume, for Derek Lowe.
Lowe Tyler had a hard time last night. Walked David Ross, then struck out Infante before giving up the base hit on a 3-0 count to Jason Hayward. 9-6. He had 7 wins out of the bullpen through mid-May. I bet that's the first time Joel Peralta's gotten a double play to get out of an inning on a foul pop-up.
Nope, I can't say that he'd probably done that. And he'd been hammered. I mean, 8 runs in his last 9 outings. But no crying over spilt milk. Got to start another rally here. And Melky 0 for 2 on the day. Got a breaking ball for a strike. Clouds starting to roll in at the ballpark. Thunder showers expected around town later this afternoon.
A guy like Clippard who just throws that glove straight up in the air and then makes it look like he's throwing the glove at you, and then here comes the arm kind of windmilling behind that. You just have to block the rest of it out and look for the baseball, pick up the arm, the right arm.
Melky strikes out for the 2nd time today.
Foxmo equipment will show you here how that front arm goes straight up in the air, elbow, glove, and then on almost the same plane, here comes the arm like a Ferris wheel coming over the top. And if you let it, it can be a huge distraction when that glove comes at you.
His breaking ball is biting.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pitch. Scott Perry's 1 for 2 today.
You just can't help yourself.
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
That was a changeup. Don't recall seeing a changeup from Clippard before. '83 had a little two-seamer tailing action. Change the eye level, the eye angle, and goes upstairs at 92. Very effective. Time for our Xfinity X Factor. Braves bench, 33 pinch hit RBIs. That's the most in Major League Baseball. And 7 home runs. That's tied for 2nd most. And this guy's certainly a big part of that. Brooks Conrad with 3 pinch hit homers this year and 10 RBIs.
So close the book on Derek Lowe. The Braves starter went 7 innings. 6 strikeouts, no walks, 4 earned runs, and a home run. So Brooks Conrad will try to bring the Braves a little closer with 1 swing of the bat. Another shot to the mask of Ramos. 0-2.
No walks for Derek today, is that right?
That's correct.
And that's only the second time all year that he hasn't walked a batter, and both of those outings have come in the last 4 starts for him. One walked in against the Giants, one against the Dodgers. Very good control in recent days, just 2 walks in 4 starts, and only 1 win to show for it so far.
We joke all the time, game's a game of inches. If, and it's a big if Hinsky catches that pop fly that was a very tough play down the line, have a 2-2 game.
Another changeup.
Boy, he looked good, didn't he?
He sure did. A little anger from last night, I guess.
Clippard strikes out the side and sends this to the 8th in favor of the Nationals.
Nyjer Morgan just back from the disabled list. He had a bad hit, but boy, he's bounced back in a big way today for the Nats. He's gone 2 for 3, and a big at bat came with 2 out, nobody on in the 3rd inning. He stole second, and then shortly thereafter, a base hit by Ian Desmond drove him in for their 2nd run of the day. And in the 6th, he's part of a 2-run inning with a base hit. Went to second on a wild pitch and later came around to score. So a big day for him. His first game back from the disabled list.
So Derek Lowe, as we told you, 7 innings of 6 strikeouts, 6 hit, 4-run baseball. He'll give way to our AT call to the bullpen. Mike Dunn will face the top of the Nationals order and the aforementioned Nyjer Morgan.
No doubt about Dunn's arm. He throws hard. Converted position player who still learning the craft. And if he can cut down on his walks, he's going to be very, very valuable to this ball club. But 10 walks in 7 2/3 innings. Still no runs allowed.
But tough to teach 94 to 96.
Yes, it is. When Eric O'Flaherty does come back, that would give the Braves 4 left-handers in their bullpen. Obviously, someone would have to go, and from a speculation standpoint, it's not going to be Billy Wagner, and it's not going to be Mike Venner or Johnny Venner. So Mike Dunn might be the odd guy out, but he's gaining some valuable experience here.
And he strikes out the former junior hockey star, Niger Morgan. Yeah, that's right. Left home at the age of 16 to play hockey in Canada for the Regina Pats of the Western Hockey League. Desmond 1 for 2 with an RBI hit. I, for one, have seen enough of this kid. He is worn out Braves pitching. Ian is still a very young man, just 24 years old. He'll be 25 in September. Drafted out of high school when the Nationals were still the Expos back in 2004. Was going to go to play college ball at the University of South Florida before being taken in the draft.
Nationals were certainly busy, as were a lot of teams, trying to get their draft choices signed before the deadline Monday night.
Well, they got the big boy, Bryce Harper. Nearly a $10 million contract, a major league contract.
I think it was their second, maybe their first, third, and fourth they got signed the same time, real late.
And talking with Stan Kasten about it yesterday, he said literally they did not have a deal with 1 minute to go on the deadline. No. They got it done with about 20 seconds left. As Harper got the largest ever signing bonus for a position player in the history of the draft. So between Strasburg and Harper, the Nationals are hoping they never pick first again.
That's right. Pretty good backdoor breaking ball there by Mike Dunn. He didn't get the call, but a good pitch.
And Desmond on base again in this series. A one-out walk. Join the Braves and help raise awareness for autism spectrum disorders. Autism Awareness Day is Sunday, August 29th. Children and adults with autism may receive a free ticket with the purchase of a $12 Terrace Pavilion ticket. For more info, visit braves.com/autism awareness. No balls and a strike. I want to take a moment to extend our sympathies to a dear friend of ours Our broadcast colleagues with Peachtree TV and Turner Sports. Tom Cox, the director of remote operations, passed away unexpectedly on Tuesday. Tom was a dear friend for many years. And for those of you who've loved Braves baseball coverage, be it here on Fox or Peachtree or in the days when it was still on TBS, Tom was a wonderful man, survived by his wife Gina and 2 children as well. And Tom will definitely be missed. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family today.
Absolutely.
That's a swing and a miss. The ball pops away from McCann. Desmond moves up to second base.
The way he fielded that ball, he never even went down to try and block a ball in the dirt. I think Brian must have gotten crossed up there. He was looking for a fastball.
That's ruled a wild pitch.
That's a big run.
Yes.
At second base.
But it's all set up by the walk. Now the 3-4 hitters coming up. See you later. That erases one mistake. Now can you get Zimmerman?
It's one of the best sliders he's thrown. And a lot of times when you hear about guys being converted from another position, it's because they've got great arms that can throw hard. So the idea is we already know he's got a live arm. If we can teach him a second pitch or a breaking pitch, then we're going to have something. And I think that's what's still a bit of a work in progress for Mike, is that second pitch.
About 2 strikeouts and a walk. Into the pen goes Bobby Cox with right hand hitting Ryan. What's now a 2-run game, and another AT&T call to the bullpen sets up a righty-righty matchup with Zimmerman.
And you know, it's a big run to Bobby Cox when he's going to make a change here just to bring the right-hander in to pitch to Zimmerman, try to prevent that run from scoring. Peter Moylan had a few days off and came back strong in his last outing against the Dodgers on the 16th. 3 ground ball outs. It was a fast inning, and he had 6 days off coming into that outing. Remember, Zimmerman's the first guy to hit a home run at New Nationals Park, that opening game 2 years ago, and it was off Peter Moylan.
And for a long time, that was the first over-the-fence home run that Peter had allowed in a couple of years. Or the last, I should say. Braves will have the top of the order coming up in their half of the 8th inning. 4-2 score, big run in scoring position for Washington.
I would not give this guy anything to hit. I had to take my chances with Morse on deck, so be it.
That's exactly what the Braves will do.
Nationals still have Adam Dunn on their bench. He didn't play today, so let's see if that causes a move from Jim Riggleman.
I'd like to see Adam get well rested, not play in this game, and hit about 6 home runs in Philly.
He could do that.
I don't think that's too much to ask, no, to be honest with you. But in his place, Morse has had a good day. His home run in the second snapped a streak of 84 and a third innings between home runs by this Braves staff.
Well, we'll see if he makes an adjustment, because this has been the knock on him, and that he handles left-handers just fine, but he stands so far from the plate that right-handers are wearing him out and throwing him a lot of breaking balls at the outside corner or off the plate that he just can't reach. And he keeps swinging at him because he's trying to pull him. And Peter's fortunate that he laid off that pitch, because that one was right there.
Pitches, and Morse is retired. Braves strike out the side in the Washington 8th. Bottom half, top of the order coming up in a 2-run game. On and then have somebody unload for the Braves in the 8th inning. 4-2 with Infante, Hayward, and Prado coming up. Here's a look at your Airtran home run leaderboard.
Braves hanging in there with a couple of slugging teams too. 2 teams that strike out a ton also.
Well, the strikeouts came aplenty against Tyler Clippard 1 inning ago. He struck out the side. 14 pitches, only 3 of them off the plate.
an eye on Clippard here. The last pitch he just threw was fastball. He raised his leg up fairly high on his leg kick. The pitch before, a breaking ball, he didn't raise it up as high. I wonder if that's something that you might key on and see if it's consistent. Fastball. No, that was a slider, so that blows that.
That's what you guys as hitters look for, though, don't you?
You look for anything that might give you an advantage that he is tipping his pitches, and that's one way that he might have been doing it, but not so.
Hitters count. And Clippard wants to know where Jerry Davis thought that pitch was. And Jerry took a little exception as Clippard, off the front of the mound, looked in questioningly. Tying run to the plate.
Well, let's see if he had a beef. Look low. Box track says it caught a nick of the bottom line of the strike zone. Jerry Davis calls balls and strikes, though, in a high position. He doesn't crouch down and get right in over the catcher's shoulder, so he may not be inclined to call that low pitch like some other umpires.
I mean, you saw how close that pitch was represented by Fox tracks. I mean, you're not going to be able to tell.
See, he's got his hands on his knees, the umpire, so he's up above the catcher's head no matter where he goes, left or right. And that looks, I mean, even from that vantage point, that replay, that looks low.
Oh, and the catcher shouldered it low, too, didn't he?
Yeah.
So as a hitter, would that lead you to believe if you were to scout the umpire, he's going to call the belt high pitch a strike?
You'd think.
After a meeting with Jim Riggleman, Clippard now in to face Jason Hayward. And that's an encouraging sign.
Yeah, including the game winner last night when he fell behind Jason 3-0.
And here's where the Braves' reputation of taking pitches is starting to serve them well. Infante jumped ahead 3-1. Now Hayward 2-0. Back our way. I was a little slow to the fishnet.
Yeah, you were.
I said Dave's got to be the fishnet guy down there. He's on the net the whole game.
I don't think Dave wants any part of that.
No, I didn't want any part of that one. That was screaming back at us. And another 3-1 count.
Here's something that's got to be frustrating for Steve McCaddy and Jim Riggleman. You got a guy like Clippard who struck out the side last inning and just looked unhittable. He now has 83 strikeouts in 69 innings. And then he goes out the next inning and he doesn't look like the same guy.
Will he come with the heat or something off speed? 3-1. There was a fastball and it missed.
And it might have been a pretty good pitch. And he might have gotten the call had he not been complaining about ball 4 to Infante. Strike says it was a ball anyway. So, tying runs aboard. Let's see how Bobby Cox plays it with the heart of the order coming up. You got the guy with the most hits in the National League up there. Do you bunt these runners over to try to tie the game up? We're about to find out.
Martinez 0 for 5 lifetime against Clippard. And time called by Ramos.
Sean Burnett is up. He took the loss last night. And Drew Storen is their new closer after they traded Matt Katz.
He's punting.
Martin tried to disguise that. Waited a real long time to square around, and he waited too long. That pitch was on him before he could really get the bat in a good position to bunt. I understand you're trying to not let those infielders get on top of you, but you got to give yourself up and give yourself a chance by getting turned around there quicker.
Will the bunt stay on? Bobby called for that stoppage of play. Ramos right in front of the plate for one. To first, not in time. First and second, but one out now.
Martin just beside himself, upset by not getting the bunt down out where we could move the runners up. And again, it hit that soft area right there by the plate. Ramos pounced on it. And that was a close play at first. Zimmerman surprises me with how he throws the ball a lot of times to first. He puts a big looping arc on his throw to first, and if he had come over the top and aired this out, they'd have had Martin. But that submarine toss had a big sinking hump in it. That allowed Prado to beat it out.
Diaz a 2-run scoring double today. Did not go. Ball one.
Little things adding up against the Braves today. Got a leadoff double from Gonzalez. Never advanced him in the 5th inning. And the inability to get a bunt down here hurts.
The other big play, that pop-up when Diaz had third base stolen.
Yeah.
Didn't read the ball, couldn't have, and was doubled up. After the Braves had already scored 2 runs. There were only 2 today.
Clippard got away with a mistake there. That was right in Matt Diaz's wheelhouse, about helmet high.
Yeah.
Not quite that high, but certainly above the belt.
Nationals play Matt almost like they would a left-hand pull hitter. I mean, he's got a ton of real estate in left center and a couple of acres down the left field line.
And with Clippard's fastball, and he's got a pitch to play with here if he wants. When a hitter is diving across the plate like he just did and fouled that one off, they know he likes to hit the ball to right field and can. Up and in, tie him up at that fastball might be a place they would think about going.
Driven to right. And Harris having trouble with the sun. Makes the play. Both runners will try to tag, and both runners will make it without a play. So not getting the bunt down has cost the Braves 1 run so far, but McCann, the hitter, a base open. We'll see how Washington plays it here.
Well, he's got the shades on, and that was a battle all the way. Stayed with it to make the catch. They've got Burnett ready. McCann due up. And Jim Riggleman's going to go with the left-handed matchup.
So Clippard goes an inning and 2/3 with 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. He has not allowed a hit. And a lefty-lefty matchup features McCann and Burnett in the Braves' 8th. will face the Atlanta catcher.
This guy's got some odd splits. I mean, he's 0-7. Nobody likes those kind of splits, but a great ERA of 2.78. He has a better average against him. Left-handers are hitting him at a 288 clip. Right-handers at 160 because he's got a real good sinker. Throws across his body. He's given up only 2 home runs all year, both to left-handed hitters. So you take away some of his advantage by being able to run the ball away from right-handers when he has to come in and pitch to a lefty. Let's see if that helps McCann, who hit a hard ground ball against him last night, hit into a force play.
Ramos has to be careful on a ball sweeping like that. If it gets away from him, Hayward could score a run. One ball, one strike.
Tough pitch there. Tough pitch to hang in there on. Threw it right at Brian. So now the battle's on if you're the hitter. Got to cover that outside corner. If he throws a slider out there, he might run the ball in on you. Got to lay off that. Tough spot.
Line drive right to first. And Morse did not have to move a muscle. Bryant hit it right on the button, but right at the Nationals' first baseman. And the Braves strand a couple more, and that ends the 8th inning. Wow, 4-2. We go to the 9th.
Burnett, not an easy one. Took a fastball he probably would like to have back. Slider away, slider at the corner, slider away, and then a rocket right at Mike Morse. That's our Toyota Tacoma play of the game. As Burnett gets McCann to line out with the tying runs in scoring position.
So lower part of the Nationals order due in the 9th inning. Bobby makes another AT call to the bullpen. And it's Kyle Farnsworth who answers the bell to face Adam Kennedy.
His last 2 outings have been good ones. One against the Dodgers, one against these guys 2 days ago. Total of 2 innings, zeros across. 1 hit, 4 strikeouts in those 2 innings.
Kennedy's 0 for 3 today.
Adam Kennedy over 1,300 hits in his career now.
That's surprising.
In the 11th year of his career. Started with St. Louis, then the Angels. Back to St. Louis. Last year, some time with Oakland.
From 0-2 to 3-2. Braves play the Cubs tomorrow afternoon at Wrigley Field. Jurgens and Dempster will be the starting pitchers. Cubs are hosting the Padres today and are trailing that game 1-0. Phillies and Giants later tonight. Braves start play 2.5 up in the division. And Farnsworth walks the leadoff man. Jumping ahead 0-2, Kennedy earns a base on balls. And now the catcher, Wilson Ramos, will bat. Well, I can't think of a better guy to learn from for Ramos, or Ramos, however you pronounce it, than Pudge Rodriguez. For the Washington club.
Yeah, it's a great tutor. Nice save there by Hinsky.
Runner goes, good jump. And a break as that one out of play foul. Derek Lowe started for the Braves, went 7. John Lannon for the Nationals went 5 1/3, allowed 2 runs on 7 hits. A couple of chances though for Atlanta to have a big inning or two. Couldn't cash him in, and down to their final 3 outs.
When will Nieves be back? Was there anything in their notes about that?
Bereavement, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that was the term they used. Let's see if there was a release on that.
Actually, no. His wife had a baby, so that's better. Better news that way.
High fly ball to left. One out. Harris in the batter's box. Adam Dunn in the on-deck circle. I just as soon see Willie hit into a double play. All due respect. In the ninth, Gonzalez, Cabrera, Hinsky, the first three scheduled for the Braves.
Yeah, don't forget about Kennedy over there. He's batting sixth in the lineup, but he has 12 stolen bases out of 13 attempts. $15,593 the announced attendance at Turner Field.
We will join you again from our home park Friday night, August 27th, when we'll take another look at the Florida Marlins. Fly ball hammered right. Jason Hayward has gone as far as he can. And Willie Harris put a charge into that ball and a dagger into our hearts. A two-run homer in the ninth.
And the folks that made the drive up from Cairo, about the only ones clapping here at the ballpark. And that was a no-doubter to the bullpen. Fell behind 2-0. And threw that fastball, that four-seamer right there. Well, I'll tell you what, that ball was cracked.
Yeah. So 6 home runs for Harris. 6-2 Washington the lead. And Adam Dunn is the hitter. Dunn has not enjoyed facing Farnsworth in his career. Adam 1 for 13 with 9 strikeouts. It's one day where the Braves were hoping to sweep away the Nationals and wrap up a 6-1 homestand. They've got a lot of work to do. Down 4 now in the ninth inning. A day that saw their streak of not allowing a home run end. 84 innings. Mike Morse took care of that in the second. Willie Harris hit the second for the DC club here in the ninth. And Farnsworth continues to punish Dunn. 2 out. Mention the Marlins in town on Friday the 27th. That's a 7:35 start. It's also Health and Fitness Night at the ballpark. A Health and Fitness Expo starts at 4:30. You can get tons of info and tips from the pros about living a healthy and active lifestyle. For tickets, visit braves.com/health. Was that a strike? Because McCann boxed it, and it is a strike. And when Brian missed it, it hit the foot of Jerry Davis, and that's smarts.
That might have missed his shin guard, too. They've got steel toes in their shoes, but you see how wide his stance is. That may have gotten the instep of his foot. Niger Morgan was swinging and getting out of the way at the same time.
Whale and bail, baby. And it was a strike. go down to the bottom of the 9th inning. A leadoff walk to Kennedy brought Willie Harris up, and he crushes one deep into the seats in right field. And just like that, Washington now leads 6-2. Tough on his former mates. Drew Storen is the Nationals closer, but he's got to get through a man to start this rally who has been hitting the jackpot for the Braves. Last couple games, Alex Gonzalez has been swinging a very productive bat.
There wasn't a whole lot made about Drew Storen when Steven Strasburg got taken in the first round, but Drew Storen went in the first round in 09 as well. Strasburg was the first pick. Storen was the 10th pick out of Stanford University. .62", 180 pounds. He's taken over as the closer after the trade of Matt Capps. And since July 27th, he's gone 1-0 with 2 saves and a 1.93 ERA. There are those numbers for Alex over the last 5.
Well, there was a bright side for the Nationals not signing their first-round pick in 2008 was the pick of Drew Storen. They drafted Aaron Crow. Crow didn't sign. Nationals got to pick in the same spot in the draft 1 year later and go 1-10. Have a #1 starter and now a #1 relief pitcher. Real good draft.
Throws hard. Has a funny leg kick. Real stiff front leg.
Kind of reminds you of Rob Nen without the bounce of the leg. For him with Giants. I don't know if he was quite as stiff-legged, but had a pretty stout fastball, did Rob?
Yes, he did. He hasn't pitched since Sunday. Picked up a save against Arizona. Braves have extra work to do thanks to Willie Harris and that 2-run homer. But the little things jumped up and bit them today.
Yeah.
At least from an offensive standpoint so far. Alex chased ball 4, but at least he foul tipped it and he's still alive.
Alley caps are on at the ballpark. Braves have only lost one day game at home this year. And that was headed right for the Nationals TV booth, and Rob Dibble hit the floor.
He was used to throwing hard, not having to catch anything.
Wow. Popped up. Shallow center. 1 out. Here's Melky. Melky's 0 for 3. Into right field, Willie Harris makes the catch this time. Remember, the first Braves hit of the game in the first, he dived in similar fashion. It ticked off his glove for a hit. No such luck here in the ninth.
Nice play by Willie, and he's having himself a good day. You're only going to get one hit, make it a home run late in the ball game to give your team a little cushion. Storen certainly appreciated the effort.
A syrupy sweet ninth for the man from Cairo.
That was syrupy.
1 ball, no strikes.
But moving on.
Yes. You should be used to it by now. Shame on you. Hinsky 0 for 3. Again, we're in Wrigley tomorrow, and we will welcome a new face somewhere in this Braves lineup. Derek Lee will be in uniform. I'm sure it's going to be very odd for Derek. 5 years or so in Chicago. Got to make sure he knows where to go to the visitors' clubhouse. It's been a while for him. And of course, played with the Marlins. A big home run against the Cubs in the 2003 NLCS.
That's just it's unfortunate the way the schedule falls for him, in that he does just move across the diamond to another clubhouse and play against his ball club of several years. I'm sure the fans will be nice to him. They love him. That's a weird set of circumstances.
Well, it's the second time it's happened to the Cubs. They were out in San Francisco. Mike Fontenot beat the Giants with a big hit the night before, was in the cage warming up. They called him in and said, oh, by the way, you need to go to the other locker room. We just traded you to San Francisco.
Remember, the Braves got Nate McLouth last year. The first series was against the Pirates.
And that is your ball game. As Storen comes in and works a 1-2-3 ninth. Nationals avoid the sweep. They beat Atlanta 6-2 behind the speed of Niger Morgan and the power of Mike Morse and Willie Harris.
Niger Morgan came back from the disabled list in a big way. His base hit with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Then a stolen base led to their second run of the day. He also had a base hit. Went to second on a wild pitch when the Braves were trying to pitch out to prevent him from going to second base, and scored on this double by Bernardina. but they missed him in their lineup, and he was a big contributor today in their first and only win of this series. Home Depot player of the game.
So the Braves see their lead in the East trimmed to 2 games now. The Phillies play later on tonight. Washington salvages 1 of 3 and wins tonight's game by a final of 6-2. We invite you to join us tomorrow from Wrigley Field at 2 o'clock here on Sports South. We'll welcome Derek Lee into the fold and battle the Chicago Cubs. For Joe Simpson and the crew, Chip Carey bidding you good